coxers are lying down inside the boats. They might have their arms up. They're in now. So there we get a short first strokes from both crews, stabbing it away, getting it away, trying to press the finishes out and get onto the next stroke as quickly as possible. Newcastle making a good start on the right, Oxford Brookes on the left.
So Newcastle up above 50, which is some going for the start of the cox scores. Brookes went off about 48, 49, slightly underrating, but it's they've got themselves lengthening out to come past the island now.
Well, I use that word short and stabby. 50 is very, very high, so they will want to make sure they lengthen out as they come out of the island now. Well, they've been calm water behind the island. Now they're coming out, they'll feel the breeze. It's not too strong up at the start there. Stream will be affecting them, but Newcastle it is on this side. A university less familiar with the big wins here at Henley compared to Oxford Brookes, who've been a real winner of university events over the years. But it's Newcastle who are just squeezing out, taking a little bit each stroke at the moment.
So both crews settling down to 39 past the island, keeping it high, but they're lengthening out now. Newcastle have really pulled up in the last 5 or 6 years. Newcastle University, they were winners of the Victor Ladorum at the Brookes Regatta. This is where it's quite interesting looking at these two crews. We've got two British university crews here. For some time, Oxford Brookes in the south of England has been where you would want to go if you wanted to continue developing your rowing in the south of England. And Newcastle University has really pulled itself up to be somewhere in the north of England where you know you can go and continue to develop your rowing.
And for those visitors who might not be familiar with it, winning the Victor Ladorum at the Brookes, what's that all about?
So this means that you get points for winning, coming second and coming third in each event, the 8s, the 4s, the women's, the men's. And Newcastle University, the men won overall, and the men also won the men's Victor Ladorum. So what that says is that they're overall kind of the most successful university club at the moment. And they're taking on Oxford Brookes, who have traditionally been,
so it could be a bit of a changing of the guard, that we've got Oxford Brookes. My understanding is this is their second boat. They've got the best guys in the 8, but a number of these were in the 8 that actually won the Head of the River race this year. So a real quality race, but it's the men from Newcastle, like you say, the new pretenders coming back on, just getting their programme stronger and stronger to be a foremost, if not the foremost, university in Great Britain.
So Newcastle University won this event in 2014. They've come back with the same cox, but a different set of rowers. Oxford Brookes on the right-hand side of your picture. Last won this event in 2009. Looks like Newcastle, I mean, it's very tight, isn't it? But look, I'd say Newcastle they've held it right off the start. They went off so hard, so fast. And I was wondering how long they could hold on to that for. They seem to have settled into a good rhythm now.
Do look like they're both crews have now settled into their rhythm in this middle part of the course where the crowds aren't so close, a bit further away from everyone. Often known as the Badlands, the middle of the course where you're out on your own. You have to really focus in. The coxes have to work particularly hard to keep the crews focused, keep the crews working, sticking to their task. Each and every stroke, make it perfect.
So this is actually this is your favourite type of race. And you like to be up in front, but if you really, really want to race, you're side by side. The crews are matched. The crews are matched for rate. They're both at 36, 36 and a half. And this is where you just have to hold your head, because you can't get ahead. Newcastle have been ahead, but Oxford Brookes is not letting them get away.
No, it looks like there could be a tiny bit of clear water that Newcastle are looking to draw out to now.
Now they're going.
And we're seeing that little bit of clear water, so it's going to help the Newcastle crew to just feel that psychological edge. And it's a long way back now for the Oxford Brookes crew on the inside. Newcastle really delivering now through that middle section of the race. When it was quiet, they were delivering. They were sending it down stroke by stroke. They come down past Upper Thames, then it's past Remnant. Then you mark it off, you click it off in your head, you see the markers, you listen to the cox as they say, now we're past Upper Thames, we're coming to Remnant. Then there's the quiet space, then you get to the regatta enclosure, then they count it off down the grandstand, the progress board and into the line. And that's what these Newcastle rowers will be desperate to hear.
So both of these crews quoted yesterday, Oxford Brookes, it's everything to be racing in the semi-finals at Henley. Newcastle, their quote, it means everything to have made the semi-finals. So for both these crews, as we often see, to actually make the weekend, well, it means everything until you get out here again today, and then making the final means everything, doesn't it?
Well, that's it, and that's why these events are so good, that they just build day on day. The pressure gets bigger, the meaning gets bigger, and the competition gets tougher. But you need your endurance to be able to recover, to be able to have a good race. And for these guys racing virtually the last race of the day, it's not the slot they'd have chosen, but they'll be choosing it if they can win it. And then they've got to go home, recover, and get ready to race in the final tomorrow.
And this is the decision now. They've just managed, you know, they've got that clear water, and as you say, it's a late race, and you're never quite sure what time you're going to have to race tomorrow. It's all drawn afterwards, and so there's the point about really, really wanting to make sure.
And really interesting there, we see from that overhead shot, you see the puddles, the dirty water that Newcastle are able to now send down perfectly legally, not doing anything they shouldn't, but that picture lets you see the puddles getting left in the water and how those are just coming out to affect the Oxford Brookes crew, not helping them.
Great to see resurgence of rowing on the Tyne. This is one of the great championship courses. And let's kind of come up back there. Some of the boat innovations in boat design happened up on the Tyne. Some great boat builders up there. Outriggers were first fitted onto boats by Harry Casper on the Tyne. First time we saw the boats being able to be narrowed. Up to that point, they'd had to be tub boats with the oarlocks on the side of the boats. Now we can see it's completely taken for granted, these outriggers, first put on Tyne boats. So Newcastle coming down here now. They've led, they've held their heads. Oxford Brookes tried to challenge them through the middle of the race, but they haven't been able to do it. They're lifting their rate now, Oxford Brookes. But so they've left themselves to the mighty task coming into the last 100 metres.
That's right, coming down to the line, as you can see, using those outriggers to get maximum length. Slightly losing the length in the bow seat of the Newcastle boat as it comes down to this final sprint. Sorry, William New, but you've slightly shortened up, but come on, you can hang on to it right through to the end. Surely, Oxford Brookes sprinting, but surely they've gone too late as we come down here towards the line. The Cox in the Newcastle boat. Callum McRoberts takes a look over his shoulder. It's close, but you've held on. What a huge move from Oxford Brookes in the Prince Albert. We see it there, Newcastle University beating Oxford Brookes, but it was it was a lot, but it was too late.